everybody. It's another bright, sunshiny day, I guess, morning or whatever. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I've been trying to get better about getting videos edited and uploaded as quick as possible. My wife actually has been putting a lot more hours in at home. She's been doing a lot of her work at home because they have her doing stuff on the computer at home. I can't really explain anything else. She's in medical. She does a lot of transcripting at home. It's not a medical transcriptor. It's just a specialized thing for her field. So she does a lot of that at home now, 3 days a week, plus she's got weekends off. So my time to actually sit down and edit videos is kind of hit and miss, and I can't steal the computer away from her if she's got work to do. But anyway, so I started a conversation here a couple videos back about my grandpa, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the topic or subject of death. It's something that some of us think about, some of us don't think about it. I mean, you can look at it two different ways. You can have feelings toward it a few different ways. It doesn't necessarily, there is not a necessarily right or wrong feeling about it. It's just based on our individual thoughts. Wow, what an asshole. Just one of those weave in and out, try to get the fastest, whatever. I hate people like that. Listen, if it takes you 20 minutes to get to work with heavy traffic, if you leave 15 minutes before work and you do all this shit, it's your own fault. Leave when you're supposed to leave. Anyways, so my feelings on death, wow, this person is kind of driving slow. My feelings on death, I put a lot of thought into death, and for several reasons. I look at it several different ways. I am somewhat afraid of death, somewhat. Not in the sense that I stay up all night worrying that I'm gonna die. Wow, gas is down to $1.74. I don't sit down and really worry about it, but I do put some thought into it. I really do. And this is how I feel, and again, everybody feels differently. So your opinions, you might say, oh, you're scared of death. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. It really doesn't matter as long as, I know what I'm feeling and thinking. So my thoughts on it are that I'm afraid of how I'm going to die. And I think a lot of people do tend to think about that. I don't want to die in some debilitating, painful way, because I've had the flu before. I've had the flu, serious flu, where it's just like you're in so much pain. I smell natural gas. Anyway, you're in so much pain that you just feel like I just want to die. This is horrible. I always hit that. So I don't want to have something like that happen. Cancer, I mean, I've seen people in my own life go through cancer. My aunt, when I was younger, she had stage 5 cancer, ovarian cancer, and watching her go from this super nice and energetic, kind woman to a bald and frail and pale woman who can barely get out of bed to go to the bathroom, doesn't want to eat. I mean, I know we've come a long way in cancer treatment, but she was in pain. That's all there was to it. She was in pain, didn't want to do anything, all she wanted was death. So I'm afraid of something like that. I'm afraid of something that's going to be slow and debilitating. I'm also afraid of a painful death, whether it's quick. I'm talking about like a heart attack. something where you're just going about your own business, and suddenly you grab a hold of your chest, and it becomes the most painful thing you've ever experienced in your entire life. I've pulled a muscle before near my heart, in my chest area, and it was so painful. I remember it. I was 16, and I was just starting to lift weights at school, and I pulled a muscle across my chest, and it was the most painful thing I'd ever felt in my life. It felt all this pain right here in my chest, and I thought to myself, man, this must be somewhat of what it feels like to go into cardiac arrest. So I don't want really to know or feel. I'm just getting behind all the slowest people. Look at this. Some overprotective mom. I can see the baby seat right there. I don't want to feel a quick, painful kind of, this is the end. I'm done with. I'm over. I guess I don't want to feel that. I'd rather go in my sleep or not see it coming. Something like that. But anyways, there's also that, is there an afterlife thing? Now, I was raised a Christian. I come from a Christian family. I was raised Methodist on my dad's side, Baptist on my mom's side. And I don't practice. But that's how I was raised. And I was raised, there's a God, there's heaven, there's hell, and that kind of stuff. And as of late, I've really been conflicted on that, really been having some doubts. And the church that I go to every once in a while, I've brought this up. And the answers I seem to get are, well, we all go through that, it's just based on faith. And that's what you have to trust, and that's pretty much all I can give you. And I don't like that answer. I don't like somebody to just say, it's just faith, that's all, I want, I guess, as a human being, to be reassured that, that's nice, LS4, to be reassured that, yes, I am going to heaven, and there's nothing I have to worry about. But at the same time, I have my doubts, and that's a difficult place to be. I am afraid that when I die, it's going to be, and everything's gone. And everybody has their own beliefs. I'm not going to get into some religious debate. I don't want all the comments to be filled with, oh, you need to go read the Bible more, or something like that. This is how I feel. This is my own personal feelings. And whatever you put in the comments isn't going to change me or sway me either way. I can have a great discussion with you if you want, but if you're just going to come down and say, well, you just need Jesus, son, then I'm not going to listen to you. But I fear that, like I said, that once you die, that's it. I can't remember, I read this somewhere, I can't remember who it was by or whatever, but I read that there was a guy who saw the other side of death, and he was sitting around a pool, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and there were a whole bunch of people there. He was having a near-death experience, and nothing was happening. Just everybody was sitting there. And he was clinically dead for 4 or 5 minutes. And he said that things then started to black out. Like there was everything was just kind of fading away. And then suddenly he was revived. Now you could say, well, scientifically speaking, it's because these neurons are firing in your brain and this, that, and the other thing. That's fine. Okay, that's the scientific explanation. Religious explanation would say, well, we weren't ready for God, but just kind of got a taste of it. And then there's the atheist look that says, once you die, everything goes black, and he was starting to go to that point where it was getting black. So everybody has a different view. That's fine. Okay? I respect your view as long as you don't try to convince me of your view. Just like a lot of religion, and I'm the first to admit it. In fact, I was taught it in school. A lot of religions go out of their way to convince people. They try so hard. Oh, you need to come to the light and this, that, and the other thing. They try so hard. Well, I'm not like that. I don't want to hear you say, well, this is all the evidence I have, and if you don't believe it, you're stupid. So, the ambulance is going the other way. I'm torn in these feelings right now. I'm just torn right now. I'm kind of at a crossroads. Am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? Doesn't really matter. But really the main thing is that, I haven't had $1 million or a huge mansion or 20 cars or anything else like that, but I love life. I really do. And I love experiencing things. And yes, there's a lot of crap going on in our world right now. And a lot of it comes from the people who represent us. We as a people are not mean, but we tend to be represented by people who make decisions on our behalf because they feel like that is the way to go, and I'm probably going to follow this person all the way. But so I'm not really into the thought of reincarnation. I can't believe that I've had 30 lifetimes before. A bunch of cops sitting there at the Tim Hortons. I can't believe that I've had 30 lifetimes before and I can't remember a single one of them. I mean, that's hard to believe. It really is. So what's the point? If you can't remember, then what's the point? And how do I know this isn't my first lifetime? And what was my first lifetime? And all sorts of different thoughts and feelings go into it. East Lansing police, they like to patrol this road now, I've noticed. But so yeah, I mean, generally speaking, you could say that it's just because I fear my own death, that I fear my own end, and I don't want to admit that scientifically I'm going to be dead and there is no afterlife and yada yada yada. That's fine. If that's your explanation, that's fine. But I just oh, that sounds bright. I guess I just feel that I just don't want to die. I mean, that's all there is to it. Nobody wants to die, but I'm legitimately concerned that it's either going to be blacked out nothing, or it's going to be painful, or whatever. And there's a lot of questions I have regarding the Bible and things like that. Like, why would somebody who goes out of their way to preach the gospel get all these gifts and bigger mansions and so on? That's like loving somebody different or rewarding somebody different when everybody should be equal. I mean, I have a lot of questions. In the comment section, I'm not interested in hearing why you believe or disbelieve. If you want to say, okay, this is how I feel, that's great. But if you're going to go on to, well, you should do this or that, not interested. But anyway, so, yeah, tell me what you think. And I will definitely catch you guys later. So, take care.